And welcome back, or welcome back to the end, the grand finale here of the H.4.0.S Galactic Battle by ENDORFY. I'm of course your host, Live VIP. With me, I'm joined by Kuro, and it has been a long and grueling tournament. 12 and a half hours already of non-stop, for the most part, non-stop StarCraft action, and we are here finally with 2 players remaining.
Yeah, and as Dansky was saying, it's quite an unexpected finals. We didn't quite foresee Krystianer making it all the way here. Elazer was a bit of a favorite, but Krystianer is definitely a surprise, but he has been rising to the top slowly.
He has been rising to the top. But even then, I would have favored Geralt over Krystianer first.
Yeah.
So it's a great run, a great performance so far from our Protoss player. We'll see if he can walk that royal road. We'll see if he can take it all the way.
Yes, as we are already loaded into our first map. As a reminder, this is a best of 7, and our first map is Alcyone. As we are looking at the base of our blue Protoss player representing Team Elazer, it is Krystianer.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the best Zerg player in all of Poland in Bologna, papi. We have the red Zerg player representing Team Liquid. It is Elazer. And hello, Gold.
Oh, of course. I mean, what map was it? In the previous map pool, there was a map where Elazer would always take the gold. Was it even not a gold? Was it just a base? Which map was
What are you
it?
saying right now? Are you talking about Royal Blood?
Maybe. I don't remember. But there was a map where he would like do it every time and everybody was like, why?
Yeah, again, Elazer is very fond of this gold base here on Alcyone. He has found a lot of success with it as well. If you remember, he did this against Geralt earlier today and was able to bring Geralt down. Geralt, his response to this, his way to try to punish this was, if you remember, to go for a Dark Shrine opener. He went for DTs, but there was detection already in place, and the DT opener fell on its face, and Geralt was behind from that moment. We'll see what Krystianer does, as he's going for an economic opener, and Krystianer has also scattered and confirmed the gold.
Oh yeah, the probe was there almost immediately, even though I don't think he quite confirmed the transfer of workers, but he's pretty well aware of what is going on. I guess he will just try to get his own economy going and just let Elazer have it for now.
Yeah, and we'll see how he tries to punish it. As we mentioned, something like a Twilight Council opener into Glaive Adepts is quite common against this, or we could go into DTs again, we could try to go for some other form of aggression, but the point is that Krystianer needs to punish this in some way, shape, or form. He needs to try to punish the greed of Elazer.
Yeah, we'll see what is the way that he chooses to do so. As for now, just making an adept, maybe some harassment in the base, and we're going straight into the Twilight Council.
Yes, as we mentioned, the Twilight Council opener is kind of a big response to this, and we have a multitude of different builds available to us. We could go Glaive Adepts, we could go DTs, we could go Glaives and DTs as well, and even then we can kind of go for different forms of commitment with different amounts of gateways. So, as we can see here, Krystianer, he is going aggressive, he's opening aggressive, and he wants to try and do something to slow down the Zerg.
Yeah, the first adept coming in, but there are Zerglings to fend it off, and it won't be able to get any damage, but Krystianer is really waiting for that robot to be finished, for the Twilight Council to be finished, and then he will only start massing a bigger army.
Yes, and he hasn't pulled out a gas, so this looks like it looks like a DT opener actually here from Krystianer. I hope he was watching the Geralt game if he does open up DTs, because again, Geralt tried the same thing and failed here in this same scenario. So I'm curious. Again, without pulling out gases, this should not be Glaive 4-gate Glaive Adept. If we do invest into Glaives, then it could be Glaives plus DTs. But for now, I'm still thinking Dark Templar.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. I mean, I've definitely seen Krystianer using Dark Templars before, but already losing one of the adepts. I mean, he gets 2 drones, but was this really worth it?
Yeah, 2 workers for 1 adept, not ideal. Link speed has kicked in, and we are going for a massive gateway explosion. We have 1 gateway done. We have 5 gates on the way. This is going to be Glaive Adepts here from Krystianer, but a much more committed variation, which is why he did stay into gas, is going into a 2-base all-in version of Glaive Adepts.
Yeah, walling completely, so Elazer cannot quite see what is going on. He's trying to get through. He's actually getting this core pretty low. The adepts will try to defend, but I don't know if they can save it.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting very low. We're down to a handful of lings. It looks like the base of the Cybercore, sorry, is going to be going down. A big pick off this will slow down any adepts here from Krystianer. A big loss, as we do have a backup Cybercore on the way, and we have to wait for this to finish before we can warp in any more adepts.
Yeah, no adepts will be warping in. I mean, he is waiting for the Graves, but he would definitely like to have a few more cycles of warping in units. And as you said, that does delay the push, and Elazer has more time for the defenses.
Yeah, he's getting spores, so he's getting ready for DTs. As you can see, the Visionary Elazer, he hasn't gone into the main base. He doesn't know what's coming his way. He knows it's a Twilight Council, but it could be Dark Templar, could be Glaives. Doesn't know, doesn't have confirmation. So we have detection at the gold, we have detection here in the main, and the natural base is a little bit more exposed. But again, thankfully for Elazer, we don't have to worry about Dark Templar. It is the Adepts instead.
Yeah, he is working on the roaches as well, so those will be useful against the Adepts, but they are not here yet. And the Adepts are already marching against the base. There is a Queen there, but not much else.
Yeah, we'll see if we can hold on as the Adepts. They have hit the field. They reveal themselves, and now Elazer is fully aware of what's going on. Roachborn finishing up just in time. So far, we shave off a decent chunk of lings. Not a bad start here from Krystianer. At the same time, ooh, we force not a cancel, a kill. That was a kill on the Nexus.
Yeah, so actually Krystianer was a bit distracted with his Adepts, and he did get that Nexus down. And now the Zerglings are trying to stop the Adepts. Krystianer needs to get some damage done, but it looks like he won't be able to.
He just doesn't have enough Adepts here. He goes for another warp in here on the left-hand side, but alas, he doesn't find a way in either. He's getting surrounded on both ends here, and the Elazer is shutting down the Adept harass.
Yeah, at the very least, he's keeping the Adepts at base, so they cannot do any more damage, and now the Roaches are out, and this should be dealt with soon.
Yeah, we have Lings chasing the Shades, we have Roaches chasing the main army as well, and Elazer has barely lost any workers. He's lost 2 drones so far. His economy has been left untouched, and we see him just collapsing on these Adepts. You can see Krystianer as well, just banking up minerals, banking up gas, unable to warp in, unable to reinforce.
Yeah, and these few Adepts will no longer be able to do anything here. He's warping even more reinforcements, but with the Roaches out and in good numbers, I don't think he's able to get through the defense, and now it's time for the Dark Shrine.
Oh, here we go. Dark Shrine on the way. I mean, he's 2 base all in. Like, we have to do something here for Krystianer. He's stuck on 2 bases. His 3rd base being denied over and over again. The problem here is that we already have a lair. Lair is in production here, which means we will soon have mobile detection for Elazer. Krystianer's on the timer.
Yeah, even without the lair, we already have the spores in every base from what I've seen, so it won't be easy to sneak some DTs in, although it is still possible as the Adepts will get a few kills on the workers.
Yeah, good target firing here out of Krystianer. He gets 5 workers at the goal base, but the Lings, they chase this down. They shut all of this down here as 3 Adepts barely make it out. But we have Roaches chasing this down as well, and Elazer, he's perfectly safe, perfectly fine. He is now safe enough to drone and saturate his bases, but the Adept aggression hasn't concluded yet. It hasn't ended. He's getting more drones.
Yeah, something that Krystianer does do is keeping Elazer on this side of the map. He's keeping his attention on the Adepts, and if he doesn't stop attacking, he may be able to buy enough time to get something going.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to buy time. He needs time to build up that immortal count back at home. Dark Shrine just finished up. DTs are soon to be on the horizon, but we have an Overseer across the map, to be fair, as Elazer is focusing on denying the 3rd base again for a 3rd time.
Yeah, the Adepts don't have a place to hide, so it looks like this base will be denied. We'll see if it will be cancelled. It definitely should be, but at the same time, Krystianer once again is trying to go out with his Adepts.
Yeah, he does force a cancel. Meanwhile, Adepts they shade in towards the gold. 7 workers go down. At the same time, we have DTs in the prism towards the main base, but we have mobile detection. The Overseer is on the chase, and these DTs, they do no damage whatsoever. Krystianer is still stuck on 2 bases, and Elazer trying to knock down that front door, at least containing his opponent to those 2 bases.
Yeah, we have some Immortals there for defense. We have some sentries as well, so they will help, but we'll see if they're able to hold us. Krystianer is trying to find some damage, and in the end actually recalls the War Prism.
Yeah, he's forced to recall back home instead. He's going to try to focus on breaking free from his contain. We'll focus down one of those Ravagers. Good force fields where we have the Biles to bring them down. And we go straight for the army instead. We focus on DT after DT. These Immortals are looking exposed.
Yeah, that was quite brave from Krystianer to go out there, and he's juggling these Immortals really well. Is that enough? It looks like it is for now.
Yeah, good juggling the Immortals, but the Archon went down the DTs as well. We have Lings to reinforce. Biles going to be connecting, grazing with the army, and with these reinforcements, Elazer, he can take the fight.
Yeah, with the reinforcements, it looks like it will be enough to take down this army. The Immortals are still standing strong, but they don't have any support there. The Adepts are coming in, but I don't think they can quite do it.
Yeah, again, really nice juggling here out of Krystianer. Really nice control, but we're losing control of the support for these Immortals. We're getting very low. File's going to be connecting. The Immortals themselves getting so low here in the orange, in the yellow. We do hold, and the Elazer is forced to back off.
Yeah, the Immortals are marching forward. A lot of them are quite damaged, but they're still alive, and they will have a few Adepts to support, but I'm a bit worried. Like, it's not a lot. Like, the Immortals are great, and they will do a lot of damage to the Zerg, but they cannot quite be alone.
Yeah, they cannot do this on their own. So we do have a bit of a gateway army here. And again, Krystianer is very all in. Very much so all in. He's going to be rallying reinforcements across the map. Hopefully he doesn't get caught out with this Immortal and it's able to join the main army.
Yeah, that Immortal is really exposed, but it's just marching forward. It's going to make it.
Oh god. We do save it in the end. And this army is pretty terrifying. We might be down in army supply, but this is inflated supply from Elazer. It's all or nothing here for Krystianer. The queens are coming in. We can transfuse.
Yeah, it's a nice spot for Elazer, though. He has a nice concave, and the creep is helping him as well. But is it enough to break these Immortals? They are still standing strong. The War Piece is on the back, so not quite ready to juggle, but it looks like it's enough. Elazer will take it.
GG, well played. Elazer against another Protoss player. He rushes into that goal base. He gets away with it. He is not quite punished, not in time, and Elazer gets out of control. GG, well played.
Taking game one.
Yeah, exactly. Again, both Geralt and Krystianer have had a really hard time punishing that goal base. I did mention before that at least in the Korean scene, we do see players like Classic and Hero, especially with the early scout, do respond with a forge, a reactive forge, into cannons just to force a cancel on that hatchery and get into a more standard game as a follow-up. Both Geralt and Krystianer, they have different responses instead. We saw DTs, we saw Glaive Adepts. Unfortunately, not able to make either of them work. I think there was potential for Krystianer, but really unfortunate that Krystianer, he was, if you remember, he was so delayed with the death of that Cybercore. Like that, the loss of that Cybercore was huge when it came to reinforcing and really applying any kind of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it took him a while to get this mass of adepts, and by the time they came in, like, there was not a lot of, like, it seems like not a lot, these few like warping cycles, but it actually like can make a difference, as we have seen. And Elazer was able to buy enough time to get those roaches going, to make sure that the adepts are not able to get into the bases, and that was enough to hold it off.
Oh yeah, it was enough in the end. And with that, Elazer does take a 1-0 lead in this series, but it is a best of 7 as a reminder, so plenty of games to come. And again, Krystianer has already brought Elazer down before. We should be seeing a back and forth. We should be seeing a more dynamic series here. And fun fact, that win that Elazer just took, that's the first time he has beaten Krystianer all day today.
Sure. Yeah, Krystianer has been doing really well today, so Elazer was able to take the game as, you know, as an upset, clearly.
Clearly, yeah. Up until then, Krystianer, he had a 100% win rate against Elazer, but now that win rate has a bit of a blemish on it. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2. Going to be taking place on Oceanborn.
And we will see who will win, the Dark Horse or the Liquid Horse.
Yes.
I had to.
The horse will win.
Yeah, a horse will win. Which one? We don't know.
Which one? As we are just going to be loading on into game number 2. We aren't privy to the vetoes, so unfamiliar with what was taken out. I imagine Equilibrium and Rat is the station. But for now, we're diving in and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our Polish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Blazer. Down in the series, looking to fight back. It is Krystianer.
And in the top left of Oceanborn, we have our player, also from Poland, representing Team Liquid. It is Elazer.
Here we go. Now, this time he will not be tempted to take a goal base. No goal bases here on Oceanborn. So, Elazer is going to have to take a much more standard, or much more, I say standard, the unnatural natural instead. A standard base, I should say, with blue minerals.
Did you see how the drone like bounced away from the probe? Like he spotted the probe, like nope. It was quite an interesting pathing there.
Yeah, exactly. The way that works is that if the drone moves out here and if there's no probe, then you can actually just turn back around and expand where you should be at a pretty standard timing. If you see the probe, then you just go to the third base location instead. So really nice movement there out of Elazer. Forsake the unnatural natural, and it's getting into a standard open.
Yes, generally Elazer likes to do, and we'll see what the plan is this time. We also see what the plan of Krystianer is. Like, if he will once again go for the adepts, or maybe he has something else in mind.
Yeah, I doubt we're gonna see a game like Game 1 again this series. The purpose of that was specifically to try to punish the goal base.
Yeah.
Without any other golds to rush into, we should be seeing a much more standard opener out of Krystianer. I say standard. If you remember, the last time they faced off on this map, Krystianer did go for a 3-base all-in, essentially. He went for a very heavy, charged, Immortal Archon composition. And if you remember, he at one point had, I want to say, like 9 Immortals. He had a massive amount of Immortals, and he was able to eventually break Elazer.
Yeah, we'll see if he can do so again. And I'm actually curious if he will go for a similar build twice. Because, I mean, some players just have, like, builds adjusted to the map, so they may just, do it quite frequently, while others just try to mix it up.
And that's what I'm most concerned about when it comes to this series, when it comes to this rematch, is that build that we saw from Krystianer, he's done it before. He did it in the in the House Open Cups. In the House Open Cups, he did the same thing. That's how he beat Elazer before. Fun fact, in that series where Krystianer did beat Elazer, he did the same thing 3 games in a row. Did the same build overall, and Elazer was able to adapt, was able to read his opponents, and able to shut him down in Game 2 and Game 3. So that's what I'm concerned about here, is that if Krystianer doesn't have enough builds up his sleeve, then Elazer will have a much easier time scouting, responding, and reacting to Krystianer.
Well, for now it looks like we are going for a Stargate with an Oracle, so I guess there will be some air harassment at least to start things, and we'll see where we go from there, as right now we're just adding some more gateways.
Yeah, it's going to be a Stargate opener out of Krystianer into Oracle, so a very standard opener. This will typically lead into a third base. Speaking of, third base is poised to be taken, and Elazer does confirm that with the Overlord.
Yeah, the probe was really trying to hide between the minerals, but it was spotted by the Overlord, unfortunately, and the base will be in a bit of a danger as these Lings are trying to move in.
Yeah, ideally, Elazer wants to kill that probe with the Lings. That's why it's safely behind that Adept. It's safe and sound. Base is going to be taken as SimCity is being set up. The Oracle is sticking around a little bit longer, at least until we have some reinforcements. And now the Oracle can move out as the second Oracle is about to pop.
So it will be double Oracle. I believe 2 Oracles will one-shot workers, so if microed properly, that should be nice for Krystianer. There are spores going down. They're not quite ready yet, but there should be by the time Oracles are there. But I don't know how many we actually have.
Yeah, here we go. We have 2 Oracles moving out. We have 3 Queens in position at the third base. We do deal a lot of damage already here to one of those Oracles, but we do bypass the army and we get 2 drone kills, but oh, that is a lot of hull damage to that Oracle.
Yeah, that's a very damaged Oracle, and the second one actually comes back for another shot, and 4 drones in total do go down, but not without some loss of health to these Oracles.
Yeah, it was a big blow to the HP. The Oracles are going to be stuck here outside the base, waiting for the shield to regenerate. Meanwhile, across the map, at least our base is slowly getting up and running, and now we're going to hit the field with the third Oracle and with 5 Adepts.
Yeah, 5 Adepts. In the meantime, there is a Forge back home as well, so maybe once again we're gonna see those Zealots or maybe something else, but for now the Adepts are moving in. The Queen is far away trying to chase that Oracle. The others will have to help.
Yeah, as Adepts, they do threaten the Shade. We do commit to the Shade as well. Stasis Trap here behind the army to support, and we do zone away any mining from the natural base.
Unfortunately, it does get triggered, so not much done with that stasis. But once again, 4 drones are going down, and the Oracles are ready to go in as well.
Yeah, they are. We do see Lings trying to go for the dive here. Really good positioning with this Adept. We got 4 drones in total. The Adepts are going to be shading towards the main base. No, they just stick around. They get another couple of drones. We came back too soon.
Actually, like these Adepts are able to take a lot of shots from these Queens, and in the end, 8 drones are going down from this harassment.
Very nice. Meanwhile, in the midst of all this, one of the Oracles fell, the one that was on low HP. So now there are only 2 Oracles left. With the death of those Adepts, we're going for a massive counterattack. Elazer racing across the map here to try to punish this. Static defense just now starting up for Krystianer, as he is indeed going for charge on Archon. Meanwhile, Elazer lost a lot of drones, and he's not replacing them. He is going all in.
Yeah, even the queens are marching forward, no creep, no nothing, just straight up going to the other side of the map. And we'll see if Krystianer has enough to defend this. As you said, he's trying to set up the static defense, but it's not quite enough. He needs some units, and he doesn't have a lot right now.
And if you remember, this is the exact same thing that Elazer did the last time they faced off on Oceanborn. Queen all-ins are very common here in ZvP. In the first time they faced off in the first game, we actually deflected this, but this time we're committing, and the side defense, it's going down.
Static defense is going down. That Immortal is about to come out of this robo. We'll see if it will be able to, but it will be only one Immortal. And GG is called. Elazer will take game number 2.
GG, well played. The first time they faced off on this map, like 5 hours ago, Elazer went for the Queen all-in. He saw that there were 4 Immortals waiting back at home because that was Krystianer's transition, fast robo into Immortal production, and Elazer had to back off from the all-in, had to try a transition from there, and was behind economically. This time, he lost a lot of workers, and he committed to the all-in, and there was almost nothing at home to defend. Krystianer, this time, was not ready for it.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunate for Krystianer, but yeah, this strategy did not work out for him. Like, he was not prepared at home. Like, he was trying to set up the static defense. He was trying to get these Immortals out, but they were just a bit too late, and Elazer was able to take it.
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job killing workers. Like, it was a very good job when it came to that, but the transition was off. If you remember, basically what's happening here is that we were taking up too much. We had a big gateway explosion on the way. We had a Templar Archives on the way, charge and +1. We were spending a lot of money teching into Archons and building up the production. Not any money here when it came to building up an army. The Robo specifically was delayed, so no Immortals. No Immortals here for the defense. And Elazer was able to just snowball out of control. And with that, Elazer takes a 2-0 lead in this series.
Yeah. As a reminder, again, this is a best of 7, so still a lot of games to go. Krystianer can still turn this around. But still, I mean, having a 2-0 lead, it must feel nice for Elazer.
Oh yeah, very comfortable start here from Elazer. And now we're getting into game number 3. We're going to be loading into Solaris. Here we go. Again, when it comes to Solaris, there are some certain features of this map. There are speed zones in the center, so similarly to Oceanborn, Queen all-ins are also seen relatively frequently on this map as well. So we'll see if Elazer is going to be tempted for a second time.
Oh, I mean, he definitely can. But we also see if this player here, the Dark Horse, as we said, can take it back, can make a comeback happen. It is our blue Protoss player representing Team Blazer. It is Krystianer.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the best Zerg player in all of Poland, the Red Zerg, representing Team Liquid, leading the series 2-0. It is Elazer. Once again, sending that drone out to see if there was a scouting and denying probe. There is none, so Elazer able to get his natural.
Yeah, very nice. The Zergs know that feeling. Not very much of taking your own natural. It's very weird every time.
It's a luxury here in ZvP, and whenever you take it, you feel uneasy because it shouldn't be happening. It's not natural. It's like, not anymore.
It's like, if you're able to do it, what is the Protoss doing? If the Protoss is not here, where are they?
Where are they? And now that Krystianer is down 0-2 in this series, I expect him to go for that more tech-heavy style. The success that Krystianer has had so far against Elazer has been off of this kind of death ball of an army, building up Immortals, Archons, Charge Lots, taking up quite heavily and absorbing all these attacks before going for a big counterattack. And he hasn't tried to do it yet. It looked like he was trying to transition there in game number 2, but again, he was kind of cool with his pants down, so we'll see if he takes that road again.
Yeah, he kind of ran out of time there. Like, he did some nice harassment on the other side of the map. It's like, but I have no defense now.
Yeah, again, as we mentioned, he was just being too greedy in that last game. He delayed his Robo, he delayed his Immortal production, and was punished as a result. But again, I'm sure Krystianer is going to be adapting over the course of this series, and we expect another Stargate opener.
Yeah, and there it is, right as you call it. The Stargate is coming up on a nice position in the main base. The Zerglings will chase away this probe as well, and yeah, we'll see where our two players will go from there.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Krystianer, he does like to mix in Void Ray openers from time to time. I don't think he is going to do it here, but it is definitely potential to go for a Void Ray first instead of the Oracle. The point of the Void Ray is to shut down Overlords and to deny any kind of scouting information and gain a map control. Outside of that, the Oracles can do a great job at dealing economic damage as well. And based on the rally, it's looking like an Oracle opener.
Well, the Oracles were able to get some damage for Krystianer last game, so maybe he will once again utilize him nice. Although he has to be careful, because last time the HP went quite low on both.
Yeah, he was a little bit too excited with his Oracles, and all two Lings, they slip into the main base. We got a free scout of the main as well. We get eyes on the Oracle opener. Meanwhile, Adepts do shade in. We do get a couple of drones, 3 workers so far. Can we get a 4th? Oh.
Yeah, just barely. No, it will be saved, and it looks like it will be just 3 workers, and no. Never mind, the 4th one does go down.
Yeah, 4 workers for 2 Adepts. Pretty good trade here from Krystianer. The downside is it triggers a counterattack. It means Lings move out across the map, and it means this 3rd base is going to be delayed. Krystianer knows this, so he stays on 2 bases, goes for a faster robo instead of the 3rd.
Yeah, this might work out for him, but at the same time, it looks like the Oracle is actually going back, trying to catch those Lings maybe instead of going straight for the base of Elazer, and it may just mean that he will get less damage done with it.
Yeah, he's trying to find a way in. So far, Elazer is able to keep up. Good movement with these queens. The Oracle doesn't really find too much damage whatsoever here. Can maybe catch a drone, but nah, it's going to be forced back.
The drone is just like hugging the gazer, like, please don't look at me. I'm not even here. Don't look at me.
I am just a gas geyser.
Yes.
Stay away.
I'm just a leaf.
Meanwhile, just a leaf. Now, this looks like a 2-base all-in, but it shouldn't be. Krystianer, he's working towards 4 gateways. He already has his Twilight Council for, I imagine, Charge, potentially Blink on the horizon here, and eventually Krystianer will be expanding behind this aggression, behind his eventual move out.
Yeah, he's trying to do so now. The Zerglings will try to stop it from happening, but the Adepts will protect this probe. Oh, actually, the angle is quite nice, but I don't think Elazer can do it.
Yeah, he won't be able to do it. He is forced to back off, and this is the style that we spoke about earlier. This is how Krystianer has been able to beat Elazer so far here in tonight's matches, and that is a very tech-heavy style. We have the Robo, into Twilight Council, into Temple Archives, into Forge. Again, just very little army, very tech-heavy, and we should be building up towards that Death Ball of an Immortal Archon composition.
Yeah, and unlike last game, it looks like Elazer will give the time to Krystianer for the time being. It doesn't look like he's amassing any bigger army to threaten his bases, and Krystianer has the time to take up to all those units.
Yep, and here we go. We have Archon harass here towards the north. The Queens are in position. We do deal a lot of damage here to the Prism already. At the same time, Krystianer going into the main base with the Stasis Trap only catches a single drone, though. Elazer paying attention.
Yeah, paying attention, but also losing the Queens to the Archons eventually, as the energy does run out, and there are no transfuses left, I believe.
Oh, no transfuses left, and it looks like, we do barely have one, but the Queen will still go down. The Archon getting very low. We get a second Queen as well. We get into the middle line. 5 drones going to be going down here as Adepts shade in towards the natural.
Yeah, nice double attack from Krystianer, actually getting 6 drones down as well as the Queens. And the Adept eventually gets dealt with, but the Archons are still there.
Yeah, a bit of miscontrol at Krystianer. He was doing very well, and then he miscontrolled, and he lost one of the Archons. That was an expensive loss there from him, but the Oracle comes in to clean up. The Queens are out of position. Well, 2 of them did already die, and we're going to town here on these drones. Krystianer dealing a devastating amount of economic damage.
Yeah, like really nice damage there from Krystianer. 16 drones total falling down. He saves the Oracle, although it is quite low on health, so he has to be careful.
Does have to be careful. The Laser going for a big counterattack with his roaches, but Krystianer, he's chilling back at home with more of these Archons. He has Charge on the way, and this is what we've been missing, Immortal production. As we mentioned, he's going to be building up a very heavy Immortal Archon composition. He kills even more drones across the map. 20 workers go down in total.
Yeah, and this time, because Elazer did give him time, didn't harass his bases all that much, we have all those units faster out. We have those Immortals prepared, so even if Elazer counter-attacks now. Like, there is already a force that can face him, and the harassment doesn't stop either.
Yeah, and we're not going to be stopping any immortal production, just like we saw earlier. Today, we should be building up towards 7 to 9 immortals. Just an insane amount of immortal production to eventually move out across the map with a giant death ball. We'll see if we can get there. As the Archon Harass has come in once again, we can just bully this queen away.
Yeah, we have to chase it away. Unfortunately for Krystianer, no drones falling down, but the Oracle will finish the job, and another 4 is dying.
Yeah, another 4 workers do get picked off. The Archon's going to be forced back for the time being. Looks like Krystianer is paranoid about a counterattack, and there are some roaches on the ground, and we are going to be pushing here. But again, Krystianer, he is so well prepared for this. He has sentries for force fields, he has shield battery, overcharge, and soon to be 4 immortals.
Wait, like, is that bro movement?
That is. Ah.
What is Elazer planning with these roaches?
We'll see as he does deny the 4th base. Krystianer out of position, not able to get eyes on this. At the same time, though, he's focusing across the map. Ooh, the Oracle gets a kill on that queen. Another queen goes down. But Krystianer, he still needs to expand. He still needs that 4th.
Yeah, and it is being protected by the single link. He's trying to go to the other side, but the probe is being harassed, and I don't think the force is quite in position, but it doesn't look like Elazer is attacking either.
Yeah, he's setting up his Roach Army, and he's going, well, he should be setting up for a counterattack to deny this base. At the same time, Archons, sorry, not Archons, this time Charge Lots into the main base here. Massive warping as well. Krystianer going for some mass harass. We'll see what he can get done.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the roaches of Elazer are turning back. They are going straight into the bases. There are some reinforcements to defend. Ooh, this Immortal is really on the front, though.
Yeah, the Immortals exposed, but we do push this back again. We have 5 Immortals, and again, this is nothing compared to what we're about to see when it comes to how many Immortals we have. Burrow is revealed, and the Tunneling Claw Roaches, they do slip in, and Krystianer, it looks like he didn't realize.
Yeah, I think he was looking at the other side of the map to the Zealots, and because his army just walks straight across the roaches, and they just pop into his natural.
Oh, and Krystianer, he has to race back home. He's doing a lot of damage. The Zealots, they killed 10 workers across the map, but Krystianer, he's caught with his pants down. The Roaches, they completely blindsided him.
Yeah, they are in the main base, they are in the natural. He was forced to recall into the main base, but the damage is being done. 13 probes, 16 probes going down.
Oh, we need the revelation. Then we reveal a good chunk of the army. A lot of roaches going to be falling, but we have even more here in the main base. A very efficient cleanup there from Krystianer, but Elazer, he's maxing out on pure roach, and he's not going to stop attacking.
Yeah, the roaches in the main base have not been cleaned up, and there's yet another force in the third base. The Archons and Immortals have to go defend it, and they will be able to stop it, but still, a lot more damage is still being done.
Yeah, no Observer either. Again, the rovers are still depowered. No Observers whatsoever. Do you have Zealots harassing across the map? More drones are going to be going down here in the main base. Good counter damage, but Krystianer, he's taking his own losses as well.
Yeah, a lot of the probes are going down. We're going really low on probes, and I mean, the third base is doing nicely, so that's cool, but yeah, I don't know about the rest of it.
Yeah, we're all in. At this point, it looks like Krystianer, he's had enough defending. He's had enough trying to keep up with these roaches. He is frustrated and is going for one big all-in across the map. The army supply here is comparable, and it looks like he can catch the drones.
Yeah, even using the force field to make sure that they do not escape. And the base will be taken down. Does Elazer have the defense? He does have the reinforcements ready.
He has roaches, he has hydras again. He has a comparable army. Oh, the prism goes down. It gets rallied into the army. A big loss. That means no reinforcements. No reinforcements, no juggling either for Krystianer. A big loss to lose that War Prism.
Yeah, and he will try to go up this round, but he sees that Elazer has quite an army. But he cannot really turn back, can he?
Yeah, again, he's lost so much back at him. There are still roaches in the mineral lines. The probes are still going down as well, but Krystianer, he's not feeling confident about pushing into hydras. The hydras, they add so much more complexity to this army. If it was only Roach Ravager, then Krystianer, he could take a fight, but not anymore, and he has to turn back around.
Yeah, the roaches are still there, still popping out in the bases.
Oh,
there are still no observers. Even taking the Nexus.
The Nexus goes down again. It just took too long to kill those roaches. It was only like 4 or 5 roaches, and they did the impossible. They killed the Nexus all on their own.
Yeah, they just pop out to do a bit of damage and disappear again. And Krystianer was just not able to deal with the roaches in every base that he has. And now the frontal attack is coming. And can he hold this?
Yeah, there's still a roach here in the natural, but here we go. We're focusing on the main push. And Krystianer still doesn't have a War Prism. He lost it, he still hasn't replaced it. He does have a giant Death Ball army. He catches the Roaches!
Ooh, really nice catch there to catch most of the roaches, splitting them with the force field, and they even revealed so they cannot escape by burrowing. So really nice catch for Krystianer there.
Yeah, and Elazer, he plummets in army supply. He's now down in army supply as well, and his army supply is inflated. This is not looking good here for Elazer. He's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, the Hydras can save him if there's only a few of them and they don't have the support of the roaches that they need, and the Immortals, the Archons are just tearing through this army.
We are tearing through this, and Elazer's army is melting right now. Boys are being called. GG gets called, and Krystianer, he does put a point on the board. He takes down Elazer here on Solaris. GG, well played. Ooh, and that is Krystianer's speciality. That is how Krystianer beat Elazer the first time in today's bracket, in the upper half of the bracket earlier, and he does it again here. Again, this is Krystianer's speciality. I'm concerned though because I don't think he can rely on it too much, but when it works, boy does it work. Just building up a death ball of Archons and Immortals, an army that roaches just melt against. They just cannot hold a candle against that, even if you're up in army supply.
Yeah, Elazer gave him a bit much more time this game, and we saw what Krystianer is able to build up to. And once he builds up to that army, it's really hard to face him.
Yeah, especially if you're stuck on a Roach Ravager composition. So a solid game there out of Krystianer. He does fight back. He will not be 4-0'd. And is this the beginning of the comeback here? Do we have some momentum? Can we make a series out of this?
Yeah, we're about to find out, as our next map will be Hecate.
There we go. Hecate is going to be coming up next in this ZvP. And we'll see if we can end up tying up the series. Again, Elazer still has a lead, but only a 1-game lead.
Yeah, once again, this is a best of 7, so either player has to win 4 games to be the champion of today's LAN event. And we'll see who can get there first.
Yeah, we'll see who can get there here. Again, this map is going to be an interesting one. It's very defendable is what I will say, so we could end up in a longer game. But here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Team Blazer, who are putting a point on the board. Can he keep it up? It is Krystianer.
And in the bottom left corner of Hecate, we have our red Zerg player representing Team Liquid, and Poland, of course. It is Elazer.
Here we go. Again, one of the big features of this map, as this time Elazer does confirm that he's going to be forced to take the unnatural natural, is the choke points. There are so many choke points here in the center of the map with these bridges here on top of the ramp as well. It can be so difficult being the aggressing player here, especially pushing into 3 bases. The 4th is more exposed and it is a lot more spread out, so you do spread yourself thin, but at least on 3 bases you should be quite secure for both players.
And both of our players are generally the ones that like to build up their armies. They do go for all-ins, but not necessarily cheeses, so I guess this will be a nice setup for either of them.
Yeah, and I do like Krystianer's position here. Again, if his goal is to turtle up on 3 bases, slowly take a 4th, and get into a heavy immortal count again, then this wouldn't be a bad map for it.
Definitely. Also, this time, as Chad is pointing out, we have an unnatural natural. This time we have this probe on the other side of the map, making sure that Elazer isn't too comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. So with this, he's going to have a much more awkward time defending early on, especially against the initial 2 Adepts. We have seen that, again, Krystianer has been very fond of being aggressive with them and picking away at the workers and getting some damage done early on.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, not, when I think about it, I think most of the games that I see Krystianer, he is using Adepts in some way. I feel like that's definitely a unit that he really likes, especially for harassment.
Oh yeah, it is what he's fond of, it is what he is known for, and yeah, we'll see if, how he can make use of them here in our next game. Once again, the pylon is further out, it's out towards the edge of the base, so we do have another Stargate opener from Krystianer.
Yeah, most likely, once again, we will see those oracles, or maybe an oracle we will see.
Oh.
But we do have a pause.
Yeah, it looks like there's maybe a little bit of latency. Thankfully, this latency hasn't been affecting the LAN event so far. Like the entire event has been pretty smooth when it comes to latency related issues. Looks like it's popping up a little bit here, but I'm sure it'll soon resolve.
Yeah, once again, as a reminder, this is happening at the LAN party at the LAN event in Warsaw. So
Mhm.
all the players are locally there. Of course, they are still playing on the Blizzard servers. Like there are no local servers, so sometimes the connection can be a bit iffy now and then, but it should be resolving soon.
Yeah, exactly. We are more than willing to wait, and thankfully, even with these connection issues, there is nothing major happening right now. There's no like
Mm.
big micro engagements. There's nothing being affected at the moment. We are still in the early stages of the game, so this is probably the best time for us to experience a little bit of lag, just so it doesn't impact the game whatsoever.
Yeah. Also, to respond to the chat, no, I am not currently at the LAN. I am actually casting from another place.
There you go.
I was considering going, to be entirely honest, but I mean, I have to cast, right?
Yeah. Like it's always a difficult thing to do. Like it was a difficult thing with IEM as well. It's like I mean, I would like to go, but I mean, who's gonna cast? Who's gonna cover like a side stream, for example, or something like that? So, yeah, it's always a tough decision to make. But regardless, we are getting into this, and so far the adept does get across the map. Looks like the latency issues have been resolved, and we can get back into this.
Yes, we are back into our game, and we do see that Oracle on the way from Krystianer and the Adepts are already across the map, getting ready to get some damage done on the Lazarus drones.
Yeah, and again, this is just a really risky maneuver. Krystianer, he needs to trade well with these adepts. If he loses them too freely, too early, then he will lose control of not just the map, but also of his would-be third base as well. So we'll see how well he can trade, as he is going to commit into the main.
He is trying to focus the drones, he is being blocked. One of the Adepts is. He's still taking down 3 drones and maybe even a 4th. No, not quite getting the 4th.
3 workers going to be going down. Not as much as last game, but a decent trade nonetheless. And immediately it triggers a counterattack. Immediately, Elazer, he does recognize that, okay, you don't have adepts to defend back at home. My goal here is to deny your third.
Yeah, luckily for Krystianer, his Oracle did spot the Zerglings moving out, so it's immediately going back home and it will be able to protect this third base from the counterattack. So both players can just set up.
There we go. We do set up. The Adept is in position. We do have the second Oracle, and Krystianer will get away with his base. Again,
Nice.
didn't deal as much damage as he would have liked, but he holds on to his third.
Those are some really neat warping spots. Just warping them straight into the Minars where they're quite safe and they will be able to make sure that no Zerglings run amok here.
Exactly. Meanwhile, across the map, Krystianer, he has his 2 Oracles. He's looking for some damage. Again, he achieved quite a lot last game. He killed, 16 plus drones. We'll see if he can do the same, as he is going to be harassing the mineral lines, but so far he does not find a way in.
Yeah, the queens are staying in position, so he cannot quite sneak in. Maybe he can get something now, but no, the queens are always in position. Just a few drones, and the Oracle even falls down.
Yeah, the Oracle goes down. Big overextension. Clutch transfuse as well from Elazer, keeping that drone alive. Only loses 4 for 1 Oracle. That is a good trade for Elazer.
Yeah, at the same time, the Zerglings are still trying to find damage, and they will catch an Adept or 2, which is definitely nice. These probes are suddenly in danger.
Yeah, exactly. No shield battery here at the third base, and they caught out in the open as well. A rough loss for Krystianer upon losing, what was that? Upon losing 2 adepts, that means that we cannot counterattack with that 5 adept timing that we saw previously. Elazer, he is looking far more in control of this game.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see if he will remain in control, as Krystianer is still trying to find some damage and he's making a lot more gateways. The charge is almost halfway done, and it looks like we will be seeing Celots across the map quite soon.
Yeah, so Krystianer is going for a very different build. This time he isn't taking up. He's going for a 3 base all-in. That is not, I was going to say 8 gates. We have 10 gates on the way. 3 base all-in, mass charge lot out of Krystianer. He's hoping to catch Elazer being too greedy. If Elazer doesn't make any roaches, if he doesn't make an army, then he may just die to this.
I mean, it is entirely possible. The Roach Warren is already placed down though, and the upgrade is already on the way as well, but there is no actual unit in production. Only now we are starting roaches.
Yeah, we have 12 links. Only 12 links. We do get across the map. We do get eyes on the Zealots at least,
Ooh.
and this is the sign for Elazer to stop droning and to start making units. He's been quite greedy. He droned up to 71. Now roaches are on the way, and we need them as soon as possible.
Yeah, quite unfortunate for Krystianer. Those Zergis were able to see quite exactly at the point as the units were being loaded into the warbridge. So Elazer is alerted to this, but he's not in position to defend this new base.
Yeah, the space is looking a little bit exposed. Zealots are actually going to be bypassing it. There we go. They do hit the base itself. Roaches, they arrive just in time. Another big warping of 10 Zealots does come in, and we should deny this hatchery at least, as no, he wants more. He's going for the army.
Yeah, it looks like Krystianer is a bit indecisive about what he wants to do, but in the end he does take the hatchery. It is being forced to be cancelled, and he still has this massive Zealot army, and he will try to see if he can get some harassment done.
Behind this is transitioning. We have +2 on the way. We have the Temple Archives for Archons and a 4th base in production as well. But again, no Immortals here from Krystianer, not this time. He has his first Immortal on the way, but for now, he's defending with purely Zealots and soon to be Archons.
Yeah, and the Zealots cannot get into the bases of Elazer either. The Queens are protecting them from the Warpriest. The Oracle at the same time is protecting the 4th of Krystianer from Elazer, and I guess we will see the main armies clashing soon then.
Yeah, I'm really concerned for Krystianer because Elazer, he was able to drone up to 76, and he's been focusing on his army, and he's setting up his overlords. And we are soon going to be pushing out across the map with a massive death ball of a roach army. And Krystianer isn't really ready for it. Not right now. He's got 1 Immortal back at home as opposed to the 4 or 5 that we had previously. Zealots are distracting Elazer. They're buying some time. But again, I'm just waiting for Elazer to pull the trigger and to move out across the map.
Yeah, and they're being cleaned up fairly fast as well. No damage to the economy, just the Queens. The rest of the Zealots are being cut off in the middle of the map, so they won't be able to contribute to the fight. But at the same time, Krystianer is moving in on the east.
He is going to be moving in. We do see the Archon army pushing towards the base on the right-hand side. At the same time, Zealots in between the bases as well. But for the most part, Elazer, he is in position. We force a recall. We clean up these Zealots that are across the map as well, and we should be pushing.
Yeah, the Roaches and the Zerglings are marching forward across the map, and Krystianer has to prepare the defenses. The Zealots are completely cleaned up, and does he have the defense ready?
He's got 2 Immortals. 2 Immortals, no shield battery here at the 3rd base. We have no shield battery at the natural, so there's no overcharge whatsoever. We have a shield battery on the way at the 4th, but the fight is not going to happen at the 4th.
Yeah, and the shield battery is so far away as well, and the Roach Baning army is moving in. There's a lot of Archons here, but they still will fall to all of these Roaches, though.
Yeah, exactly. Again, that 10-gate timing of Zealots needs to do more damage. It didn't, and as a result, Krystianer, he fell behind. He will lose his entire army. GG gets called, and Elazer takes a 3-1 lead in our grand finals.
That he does. And with that, Elazer is on match point.
GG, well played. Again, Krystianer, he needed to get more damage done with that 10-gate timing with all those Zealots. Unfortunately for him, as you mentioned, he got scouted. He got seen by Elazer. Elazer was able to prepare in time, was able to deflect it, and because it did so little, he was so unprepared and so behind when it came to the follow-up push. That's why he had so little to defend. Even if he had some shield batteries, even if he had an overcharge, he just could not really hold a candle to the maxed out 200 supply roach army of Elazer.
Yeah, it was like a really a millisecond difference where the Zerglings were just able to spot as the Zealots were moving out, and Elazer had the time to get prepared, and he did get prepared, and he was able to defend it quite swimmingly.
Yeah. Again, all those Zealots, all they did was deny a base. They killed a couple of workers here and there, but really just was not the damage that we were looking for. We needed to do more crippling damage just because we were delaying so much tech. Remember, the Templar Archives was late, the Immortal production was late. Just tech in general was not really the prioritization for Krystianer. And with that, we're now getting to our next game. As you mentioned, potentially the final game of the tournament.
Yeah, once again, it is a best of 7. Elazer is currently up 3-1. He's only 1 game away from becoming the champion. But Krystianer still has a chance to turn this around, and I guess we'll find out if he will.
Yeah, we do have a chance here, and thankfully, Krystianer, he has been mixing up his builds, he has been mixing up his play. The 10-gate charge all in was a bold one, but alas, did not quite work out. We'll see what he has in store for us here in our next game, as spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Hard Lead, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Blazer. One more loss and he's out. The tournament does end. He needs to fight back here and now. It is Krystianer.
And in the top left corner, we have the favorite of this series, let's be honest. Although not so clear as we used to think. It is our Elazer player, representing Team Liquid, currently up 3-1 in this series, only lacking one win to win it all. It is Elazer.
One more is all he needs, and Krystianer again still only having success with that mass immortal build. Do we revert back to it? I'm concerned because we're loading into Hard Lead. Hard Lead, the shortest rush distance map in the map pool. All-ins are quite common on this map, and specifically Queen Walks and Roach all-ins have also been quite prevalent on this map as well, which Elazer has shown us on Oceanborn time and time again.
Yeah, that honestly sounds like a perfect map for Elazer, considering that he does like his queens, he does like his roaches, and he does like marching across the map, so those are definitely some qualities that he would like.
Yeah, I'm sure Krystianer is aware. I'm sure he's aware of the potential for this, so we'll see how he does adjust and how he does try to deal with Elazer here to force him to stay back at home, to deal economic damage, to get ahead in some way. But now, Probe is moving out, and Elazer is able to take his natural.
Once again, not being denied his second base, and we'll see what Elazer can do with it. Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm just curious which way we're gonna go. I mean, obviously we're going quite economical, but how is this gonna end?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Elazer should be opening up standard for the time being. It's really our eyes are on Krystianer. Once again, the pylon has been thrown down, and it should be another Stargate.
Yeah. It's always the same spot as well, exactly at that, that part of the main base that goes a bit more forward to, make it just that much closer to the other side of the map. And as soon once again we will be seeing oracles coming out of it.
Yeah, it should be another Oracle-based opener. We should be seeing Adepts once again. As we saw in the previous game, Elazer just shut Krystianer down so hard early on, was so quick to shut down the Adepts, was so quick to be keeping up with the Oracles as well. Krystianer just wasn't too successful as he typically is in the early game, so hopefully he can tighten up here in game number 5.
Oh, but it looks like the door is left open and the Zerglings are able to get straight into the base of Krystianer, get a nice little scout and maybe a drone or two.
Oh, and we do have some nice control out of Krystianer. He does manage to turn the tables on those Lings. Lings are forced back, but they get a free scout, and they do confirm the Stargate and the unit of choice.
Yeah. Actually, the probes are being forced off the line as well to chase those Zerglings, so a bit of lost mining time as well. And maybe even getting a gas drone? No, not quite.
Yeah, more lost mine time here in the main base, so clean movement here out of Elazer. At the same time, though, we have the Adept shading in across the map, and last time they killed 3 drones, this time we get 6. Oh my god.
6 is pretty good, definitely, and I guess Elazer was a bit more focused on the other side of the map with those Zerglings, but now the Oracle is coming in as well.
Yeah, and Krystianer, he's reverting to what he does best. As the Oracle moves out, Lings are moving in because the Adepts did fall, but it's okay because Krystianer is delaying his third. Ooh, as he takes a lot of damage here on the Oracle, doesn't get much done, only 1 drone falls. But just like we saw on Solaris, Krystianer, he's going for his Robo on 2 bases, into a Twilight Council, into a Temple Archives, into more gateways, and he is delaying his third by quite some time here to once again build up an Immortal army.
Yeah, it looks like he is able to do so as the Oracle is taking even more drones. It does fall down in the end, but getting quite some damage done.
Yeah, 4 drones in total for the Oracle. Not ideal for Krystianer, so not the best start. He is forced to rebuild that Oracle once again. To have the Prism on the way as well, and yeah, Krystianer, he's going to have to fight hard here to expand and to take that third.
Yeah, the Rotorn is already on the way, so Elazer will have a response to the army of Krystianer. I guess we will see who can mass that army first, as Krystianer is still working on tech and only now taking the third base.
Yeah, third base is on the way. As we did mention, this is the same build that Krystianer went for on Solaris. So you can see that he's already working towards his Temple Archives for Archons and should be soon going for Archon Harass with that War Prison.
Yeah, another Oracle flying in, but it does meet the Queens and won't be able to get any damage done. At the same time, the Adepts are trying to get to the third base and it looks like they may get some damage.
Yeah, they get one drone so far, but the Lings are able to keep up. At the same time, the Oracle dips into the main, but Elazer, he does shut this down completely. Archons are going to be on the way here as we try to distract his opponent. But again, there's a lot of pressure on Krystianer to trade well and to get damage done.
I think the Zerglings just barely spotted the Archons, so once again, Elazer should be ready for this if he was able to see it, but at least the frontal base will be in danger.
Yeah, the Archons, they do arrive. There are already roaches to swat them away as well. We're trying to focus down the base. Can we force a cancel? Up!
He's trying to. He's trying to, and he will be able to force a cancel, but that's about it.
We even gets a kill on that drone, so not a bad pick-off here from Krystianer. Did sustain a lot of damage, but his Archons are still kicking, and there we go. The first Immortal is on the way, and we're not going to be stopping that Immortal production.
No, we will be getting a lot of Immortals, and we should be getting a lot of Immortals because Elazer is still making more roaches.
Yeah, additional roaches are on the way. We do manage to drop here towards the center base, going for a Woven of Zealots as well. Can we force another cancel? We can! We get a second cancel. We once again push forward, and we get a kill on the drone. We barely do escape here. The prison taking a lot of damage. So far, good moves here out of Krystianer. There's the second Robo, and again, double Immortal production is going to be on the way.
Yeah, that Archon was really trying to get into the War Piece, but it looks like the Zealot did take his spot, and he's forced to go on his non-existent foot.
And I'm curious as well now what the plan for Elazer is, because he's already experienced and lost to this build earlier in this series. So how do we adjust? If you remember in that game, we committed to Mass Roach and we went into Tunneling Claw of Roaches and Burrow, and we actually achieved quite a lot when it came to harassing, but we were still stuck on Roach Ravager. We were still stuck on a subpar army, so we'll see how Elazer is going to be reacting to this.
Well, for now it looks like he is getting a Baneling nest, so maybe we will see some Banelings to support these roaches, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see, as Krystianer is still trying to find ways to get into the bases of Elazer, but that doesn't look quite possible.
Yeah, against Immortal Archon, I do like Ling Bane Roach Ravager more than just pure Roach Ravager, so I do appreciate this kind of composition from Elazer. I do think that we can have a little bit more success with it here in these head-to-head fights. At the same time, though, the Archons, they slip into the main base. 7 drones go down. We're not done! Up! Oh no!
Oracle help there, and the drones actually stayed there a bit too long. The reinforcements weren't quite there, and 10 drones in total do fall down in this harassment.
Pretty good damage dealt here by Krystianer. The Archons are still alive, and we're achieving so much damage with this. At the same time, there's still the Oracle on the right-hand side as well, threatening the mineral lines. It looks like we do catch an Overlord.
Yeah, always nice, always, making that supply a bit more annoying to the Zerg player, and it looks like that may be the end of the harassment, but now the main attack is slowly coming towards Krystianer.
Yeah, and Krystianer is ready for it. He's on 6, soon to be 8 Immortals, and we should continue to get up to around 10 Immortals with this as well. Archons are amassing charges as well. At the same time, Baneling Runby does get in, but only gets 4 probe kills. That could have been so much worse.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but a lot of those probes are also low on health now, and if you remember, the probes do not regenerate the health, only the shield, so they may be able to be finished off by Lynx later on.
They may be finished off here as Krystianer, he is powering up. He's getting ready for his eventual move out. We spoke about 10 Immortals, and we now have 10 Immortals here for Krystianer. And he's not stopping. He's making an 11th Immortal behind this as well. And we are soon to hit the field here. We have Archons for the Ling Bane and the Mass Immortal for the Roach Ravager. This is how this composition works. It isn't the most flexible army. It's not very mobile. It's kind of just a death ball kind of A move thing where we push out and we don't stop and we try to end the game with one big attack.
Yeah, and it definitely looks like it is something that's very possible for this army, as it's definitely very bulky and it's going forward. Ooh, but once again the Banelings are rolling in and more probes are falling down. 8 probes and a lot of them damage as well, but the main army of Krystianer is now going towards the Zerg.
Yeah, we have to engage. Here we go. The Banes, they crash into the Zealots. They crash into the Archons as well. We do soak up a lot of Ling Bane, but there's still more behind this. The Immortals are standing strong, but we need support. And here we go. We warp in a massive wave of Zealots. And Krystianer, he's not slowing down.
Yeah, we just have to make sure that the Zealots can get through the Immortals, but they eventually do. And the Immortals pack quite a punch while the Zealot tank the damage and make sure that the units don't move too far. And now it's just the Immortals, which is a bit scary, but Elazer's supply is going down.
Yeah, he's doing it again. The Vials, they do take down the Prism. Big connections, but the Roach Ravager army melts here against the Mass Immortal. We have Lings in production, but it's not going to be enough. GG gets called, and Krystianer snowballs out of control and takes game number 5. Ooh, putting another point on the board.
Yeah, nicely done by Krystianer. He is still in this game. He's still getting another point on the board, and he will not be defeated so easily.
He will not. Again, that was the perfect engage for Krystianer. The Balings, they all crash into the Archons. The Archons did a great job at just soaking those shots, and that meant that we could allow for the Zealots to actually close the distance and get on top of the Roach Ravager thereafter, after the Ling Bane was cleaned up. And as we saw, the Roach Ravager army melts against the sheer power of the Immortal. How many? I think there were 12 Immortals in total. That's a lot of Immortals, Papi. And yeah, with that, we do still have a chance here to tie things up. One more game, one más, and we can force the ace match.
Right, look at what map we're getting though.
Okay, what were the vetoes? I'm pretty sure the first veto was Equilibrium, but the second veto maybe Side Delta? Because up next, everyone, we get a map that we don't get to see too often, Radisson Station.
Yeah, as the person who takes screenshots for our thumbnails, I can tell you that the two rarest maps by far is Equilibrium and Radhuset. So to see it in this series is quite surprising.
And I'm curious if Krystianer is going to embrace this. So traditionally in PvZ here, we do see this vetoed quite often by Zerg players because Skytoss is so prevalent and so powerful on Radisson Station. But is Krystianer really one to embrace Skytoss? I'm really curious to see what he does whip out on a map, on a very quirky map, a very unique map like Radisson Station.
And we will find out just in a few moments as we are now loaded into our map. It is Radisson Station indeed, and we are in the bottom left corner looking at our red Zerg player representing Team Liquid and Poland, of course. Still missing just one more win to take the series. It is Elazer.
And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Team Blazer, fighting back here, so close to tying up the series. All the last one more is all he needs. It is Krystianer. Here we go, and I'm very curious. So again, when it comes to this map, Radisson Station, it's very possible that you may be in the chat and you may have never seen this map because it is very heavily vetoed and you very rarely get to see it in competitive play. The reason for this is for a multitude of reasons. One of them, you get a free base. There's a pocket base here behind your natural, so it is a very easy base to take as your third or even as your fourth base. Likewise, this is one of the few maps in this map pool that has a ramp leading into the natural, so it's also very defendable as well. As you can as a Protoss player, you can even fully wall off completely. The reason for this is because of these rocks. You can fully wall off, and then later on, when you want to expand, then you can knock down these rocks and you can have an opening thereafter. So it's very defendable. Even the fourth base is hyper defendable with these choke points leading into it, and the rush distance by ground on this map is the longest out of any map in the current map pool.
And I'm curious to see what our players can do with this rush distance, because we've seen it before that if you give Krystianer time, he's able to make these like really strong compositions and just march forward. But so can Elazer. If you give him too much time, he will just take over the entire map and just, will choke you out of the resources.
Yeah, so typically games on Radisson Station are games of greed. Usually both players are just hyper greedy. They cut as many corners as they can. But Elazer isn't doing that. We've seen very often Zerg players go gasless, but we did open up standard. Hatch gas pull out of Elazer, he's investing into link speed. It looks like he's a little bit wary of what Krystianer would do. So instead of taking advantage of the map, Elazer is playing normal like any other map. Meanwhile, Krystianer likewise opening up with a Stargate, as he typically has in the rest of these games.
Yeah, it looks like in most games he is opening with an Oracle. The only time he didn't was when he was punishing that gold from Elazer. But every other game he's trying to go for those Oracles together with the Adepts to get some harassment done across the map.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about this. So we're still committing to Adept Harass. It is a lot easier to defend here on Radisson Station. We have 6 Lings on the way as well. There's only one base to push into to try to harass. It looks like Krystianer, he isn't really adjusting too much here to the map itself. And these Adepts, they hit a lot later than normal as well on Radisson Station.
Yeah, and they will be trying to move in, but there are already Zerglings there, there are already Queens there, and it doesn't look like they can even shade into the base.
Yeah, so these Adepts are deflected. Typically, as you remember in this series, these Adepts, they're able to do a lot of damage. Usually they kill at least 3, maybe up to 6 drones like we saw previously. This time, 0 damage is dealt. Oracles are coming in, but Queens are in position.
Yeah, Queens, even a Spore is ready, and it doesn't look like that Oracle can get anything done, despite the fact that this base is facing, you know, the other side of the map. So it sounds like it would be nice for an Oracle, but unfortunately for Krystianer, it is well defended.
Yeah, we have a very interesting follow-up. We have a Twilight Council and Robo follow-up here. If this was any other player, I would say this is going to be Glaive Adepts. This is another thing that sometimes happens on Radisson Station, where the goal is that our Protoss player here is hoping that Elazer's too greedy. He's hoping that Elazer cuts corners, and he's too greedy here because of the map. He's going to try to catch him off guard. But it's Krystianer, it's not Glaive Adepts. We're going for the same style. Fast Robo, fast tech, fast Temple Archives. It looks like the same kind of play style that we just saw from Krystianer.
I mean, you have to give it to him. Once he is able to get to those army, once he is able to get those Archons, those Immortals, he is looking quite strong, and he has taken games of Elazer before, but as you said, it also becomes quite predictable eventually.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about mainly here. Adepts, they do shade in, and we're going to be able to get 1 drone, if that. Adepts, they shade into the main base, but they're going to be completely shut down here. So almost no damage dealt to Elazer. Stasis Trap got 1 drone, and we can see Krystianer going for a delayed base. Again, despite how greedy you can be on this map, Krystianer, he still delays his 3rd base in favor of all of this tech. Again, so I feel like we could have been greedier here. We could have cut a little more corners. Krystianer still going for what works. To be fair, I mean, it's been working. He's won 2 games doing this.
Exactly.
He's going for Archon Harass here. He's basically the same build that we just saw on Solaris and even earlier on Hardlet.
Yeah, we'll see if he is able to get much done this time, as, you know, those Archons, sometimes they're really successful, sometimes they're, you know, moderately successful, just getting some stuff done. Sometimes they struggle a bit more, but we'll see which one it is this time, as we already have roaches popping up.
Yeah, Elazer, he's not being too greedy. Drones up to 70. Queens are in position. The Archon drop does come in, but there are so many Queens already here to swat this away.
Yeah, it's just the Queens. The roaches are not even here. They're only trying to get to this base, and it looks like this harassment will be completely deflected. Still some lost mining time, but Elazer is not losing any drones.
Yeah, this is the other rough thing about this map is that, again, there's only one attack path. There's only a single attack path as the Stage Trap is not going to be going off. If you remember in the previous game, we had Archons harassing one base, we had Adepts shading in from the right hand side and harassing another. That's not really possible on this map, so Elazer's having a much easier time defending against this.
Yeah, definitely. He doesn't have to split attention quite as much, and he's able to focus on more things there. The drones are trying to run away from these Archons, but once again, none of them will be going down.
Yeah, and it feels like Elazer's almost hard countering Krystianer. This time he's not going Lingbane Roach Ravager. This time he's transitioning very quickly into Hydra. With this composition, we can rush into faster Hive and faster Lurkers. And there it is. So it looks like with this map, with the denial of damage being dealt, Elazer is rushing into Lurker tech.
Yeah, and Lurkers will definitely help him against the army that Krystianer is preparing. Once again, it's gonna be those Archons with Immortals that still, he's trying to get some damage done, but now he sees the Hydras, and this is pretty much the end of this harassment.
Yeah, and I'm really worried for Krystianer because a mass Immortal army can actually do decently well against lurkers. Like, Immortals are very tanky and they can actually tank a couple of spine shots, close the distance, and kill lurkers. The problem here is that, again, there's only one attack path. There's no way to really catch the lurkers out of position because they're a little bit more immobile. They're a little bit slower. Like, there's no way to pull apart the army. There's one way of attack here towards the left-hand side, and lurkers will be set up there. Like, they're siege units, and yeah, I don't really know how successful this army that has been doing well so far is going to perform against lurkers on this map.
I mean, the good news for Krystianer is that the lurkers are not there yet. The lurker then is already only just finishing, so he will try to push right now and see if he can get something done, but he is on a timer. The first lurker are already morphing.
Yeah, I do like this. I do like that we're pushing soon. We're pushing prematurely because there's only 3 lurkers. Soon to be 5, but we're on a timer, as you mentioned. We need to hit now before too many lurkers come out.
Yeah, and I hope he does have some detection as well, because I don't quite know where the Oracle is, and it will be definitely helpful for Revelations.
Yeah, exactly, and there is no Observer. One Archon does go down. Observer production just now commences, and the army is just deflected here. Deflected immediately by the lurkers. At the same time, we do have some Zealots warping in towards the main base. Damage is being dealt here. We are forcing back the army, but there's no breaking these lurkers. Not without vision.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate that the vision was not quite there with the main army, because every second that Krystianer waits is the army of Elazer is getting stronger, the upgrades are finishing, and even though he is getting good damage done, 11 drones do fall down, it may still not be enough.
Yeah, the lurkers are still in position. We do catch out some of the army as well here. Krystianer, he's waiting for the Observer. Revelation does tag none of the lurkers actually.
Lurkers,
Bit of a misplaced Revelation there. Does get the Hydras and the Roaches, not the lurkers. And Krystianer, his army is being outscaled. When it comes to a ground toss army, Hydra Lurker Viper is what you want, and this typically forces out Sky Toss.
Yeah, but he doesn't quite have the build for the Sky Toss. He has that one target. He's going for Disruptors instead. And he is making 2 at a time, which is nice, but they're not quite with the army yet, and the army is trying to go around the lurkers, but it's really difficult.
Yeah, exactly. The Observer has finally arrived here with the main army, but at this point, we have 10 lurkers. We at one point had 3, now we're up to 10. We've hit critical mass, and there's just no pushing into this. Nova's going to be going up, but does not connect.
Yeah, it doesn't connect even with a single one, and that's really unfortunate for Krystianer. The Oracle is here and trying to make some stasis for retreat, but he's walking straight into the trap.
Yeah, and again, this is the power of Radisson Station. Again, there's only one kind of direction to attack with your main army. So Elazer, he's just rotating back and forth. He's able to keep up with all the movement here of Krystianer. Nova goes off. Decent connection on the Hydras.
Yeah, nice connection on the Hydras, but the Disruptor does go down. There are 2 more left in this army, but they're not quite able to get a nice angle. At the same time, Elazer is preparing a counterattack, splitting his army.
Yeah, his Roaches are being sent across the map. Again, they don't really have any value anymore. We want to get rid of them. Both players have maxed out. Nova's going to be going off, and Stasis Trap does catch a lot of these Hydras.
Yeah, but it does. At the same time, the
Pushing in.
Disruptor is in danger, but we are going straight on top of these lurkers and cleaning up most of them.
Yeah, there's no support. The lurkers, they get caught completely off guard here. They all go down at the same time. We have a massive counterattack. The base is going to be falling, but that was a big win for Krystianer. He catches the army exposed.
That he does, but Elazer is ready to remax. The Link Hydra, the Roach Hydra is already getting ready, and I don't know if Krystianer can rebuild his army in time.
I don't think I like him pulling back. He cleans up all the lurkers. He does pull back from here. Big stasis trap on the Hydras. Right now, Elazer is vulnerable, but Krystianer, he's racing back home to defend against the counterattack, and he's giving Elazer time to rebuild those lurkers.
Yeah, and I don't think he has the time to give to Elazer, because every second that passes, this army is getting more and more, powerful, and he's being stretched out even, and he may be caught out by this reinforcement army.
Yeah, Krystianer, sure, he's chasing down this army, but it's only Roaches. Elazer wants this army to die. He doesn't care. This is helping Elazer more than anything, as it's clearing up supply, and back at home, we're getting back into lurker production. There it is. The lurkers are back on the way, and it's going to take Krystianer far too long to counterattack at this point. Elazer, he's recovering. He's on his road to recovery.
And you know what else we have? We have a Nidus. Fortunately, Krystianer... Oh no, he doesn't see it. Okay, there he is. A bit too late though, because the
He's
lurkers are already getting out and they're already putting this base in danger. Krystianer has to go now.
Yeah, he's going to be forced all in here. This poker base is going to be going down. Krystianer is knocked down to a 2-base economy, less than a 2-base economy. Krystianer, he is all in. He does have a large army. Oh, but he's getting caught out here. It looks like one Immortal goes down almost for free. The Novas go off.
Yeah,
Connections.
getting rid of most of the lurkers is definitely nice, and he will be able to overpower this army, but he has to do more. He has to do damage in the bases of Elazer because he is doing bases damage in his.
Yeah, exactly. As we do see a laser pushing into that natural base. 33 drones go down. We can't be the production. We have 3 robos producing, and it's all about to be depowered. Krystianer, he needs to end the game with this army, but it's mainly Immortals, mainly Disruptors. There's not a lot to support.
He's actually recalling, but he's recalling without the Immortals. They are staying in the middle of the map, and he should be able to clean up these roaches, but I'm not sure if this was the best idea.
He cleans up the roaches, he saves his natural base, but he has no economy, and Elazer does. He has the gold base. Gold base is up and running. Elazer is remaxing, rebuilding his Lurker army for the 3rd time. I would say, like, again, credit where credit is due. Krystianer, he's been taking really good fights. He caught the Mass Lurker army 1 time, he caught it a 2nd time as well. He's been taking some beautiful fights, some beautiful trades, but he keeps being dragged back home. He keeps being dragged back home over and over again, and Elazer, he's able to remax time and time again.
It's almost like he doesn't believe that he can take down Elazer. Like he's getting these nice engagements, but then he moves back. Like he's not, confident enough to push forward into the bases. He always tries to defend back, but I don't think it's worth defending anymore. Like, you have to just go.
Yeah, now the Vipers have arrived. We yoink one of those disruptors already. At the same time, Lurk is in the main base, and we are just causing the all-in, essentially. There's no turning back, not anymore. Krystianer's losing everything back at home. Nova's going to be connecting, shaving off some of those units.
Yeah, and we'll be shaving some of these units. The lurkers are still a problem, but we have observers, so eventually we'll be able to go through them. But the army of Krystianer is not there anymore, and the reinforcements of Elazer are arriving.
Yeah, there's nothing left. GG gets called Elazer. He picks the army apart, forcing it to turn back around multiple times. And Elazer is going to be our House Galactic Battle champion. GG.
GG. Really nice series there from both of our players, and Elazer will be the winner of this offline event. So congratulations.
Congratulations. I'm looking at the army graph right now as well, and yeah, there were some big moments where Krystianer, he was winning fights, he was catching Elazer out, but as you mentioned, it did feel like he was unconfident. He wasn't quite confident in his army, in his position. He was faltering here against Elazer, and yeah, did give Elazer the opportunity to bounce back quite a bit there in Radisson Station. GG.
Yeah, it just looked like he lacked this little bit of confidence where, like, you have to just stop defending, you have to just go, you have to just attack, you have to be aggressive. And he didn't have that confidence, and Elazer was able to use that.
Yeah, it's a difficult position to be in. It's a difficult call to make as well, especially if you know that if you do commit, then you're in a base trade and you may just die from elimination, right? If you don't recall back home, then you're gonna lose a lot of buildings, and that can be just a really terrifying position to be in, to hold on to that recall until the last moment. And yeah, in the end, Krystianer, he did end up falling here, but that wasn't a bad series. We made Elazer work for it. I think a lot of people look at the Polish scene, and a lot of people think very highly of Spirit and Elazer, and they put a lot of stock in them for good reason, right? Spirit and Elazer, they're not just the best in Poland, but they're also the best in Europe. Despite that, though, Krystianer did very well here tonight, bringing them both down multiple times.
Yeah, because he might have lost in the finals, but he did bring down those players early on. Like, we have to remember this was a double elimination, and he was able to take those series. So, the score of the finals is not the whole story, but even the finals themselves were quite close.
Yeah, so a big shout out to Krystianer. I think he surpassed a lot of expectations. I think a lot of people assumed that it would be Elazer and Spirit in the finals, and even if it wasn't Elazer and Spirit, I think a lot of people would assume, like, okay, maybe Geralt pops off, right? Maybe Geralt is able to pop off and make a deeper run instead. But no, it wasn't Geralt. It was Krystianer instead, and yeah, he had a really, really impressive performance. I think he did surpass a lot of expectations, and I hope that he can take from this. He can take the positive from this tournament and grow from here, learn from here. Really cool stuff out of Krystianer, and yeah, I look forward to seeing more from him.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, I mean, all of these players have been growing definitely. I feel like the Polish scene in general has been getting actually even better. Like we always had these few like champions that were like visible on the international scene, but now they're getting even stronger.
Mhm.
But do we want
Oh,
to
yeah.
give voice to the stage?
Oh, go for it.
Okay, we'll see you guys soon.
Wręczenie nagród. Trzecie miejsce Spirit. Brawo. Gratulujemy oczywiście. Super. Dobra robota. Tak jest. Poczekamy chwilkę. No i drugie miejsce. No, po bardzo dobrej walce. Gratulujemy, Krystianer. Chodź tu na środek do zdjęcia. Szybkie foto. Brawo, 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 gratulujemy. Tak jest, Polska górą. I pierwsze miejsce, no po raz kolejny, Mikołaj Elazer Ogonowski, brawo! Brawo! Jeszcze fota z monitorem. No, jeszcze zdjęcie musi być pamiątkowe oczywiście. Też chciałem pogratulować. Zajebiście. Trójeczkę do zdjęcia. Szybkie foto. Tak, tak, no. Jakoś się zmieścimy. Nie, wydajcie do przodu, możecie do przodu, ja sobie stanę za wami. No to śmiało. O. Dwa, żeby było widać. Pierwsze, drugie, trzecie, o. Chodź jeszcze trochę w tą stronę, Mikołaj w tą stronę, jeszcze w twoje prawo, tak? Stójcie jeszcze, stójcie. Zasłużone brawa. Zasłużone brawa. Spirit. Super, fantastycznie. Dzięki bardzo. Zasłużone brawa. No ja oczywiście chciałem podziękować właścicielowi, menadżerowi, obsłudze chaosu, całego baru. Oczywiście niezastąpionym komentatorom. Dziękuję wszystkim graczom, że się zjawili. Fajnie, że dotarły do nas 4 legendy. No i oczywiście wy, widzowie, bez was by tego wydarzenia na pewno nie było. Gratuluję wszystkim. Podziękowania dla sponsorów, nie tylko tych od nagród, ale tych indywidualnych również. No i co, mam nadzieję, że do zobaczenia niebawem, może w maju, może w czerwcu. Jak będą tylko terminy wolne, oczywiście odezwiemy się u Igora na streamie. Do zobaczenia. A, jeszcze foto, dobra. Tak, dobra, to ja już tam idę. Igor, chodź do nas. Igor. Igor, słyszysz mnie? A, słyszy mnie, słyszy. Chodź Igorku. Wyjdź z tej nory w końcu. Tak, masz robić do zdjęcia się ustawić, chodź. Uwaga, halo, halo. 3, 2, 1. Brawo! Woo! Super! Mamy to! Dzięki jeszcze raz, do zobaczenia, trzymajcie się!
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back again. A big shout out to Danskik, a big shout out to the entire Polish community as well. It is great to see LAN's return. For those that maybe are not familiar, maybe you're tuning in for the first time, the Polish scene has been vibrant and thriving for quite some time, but as you can imagine, during the COVID era of StarCraft, LANs died down. They died down, and offline events did kind of peter out for a lot of scenes, a lot of communities. It's been great to see the Polish scene thrive once again, and they've been hosting these offline events for the past 3 years now. Last year was the first House Galactic Battle, as I believe the venue had recently opened up last year. Year before that, it was the eSport events. eSport was a previous kind of gaming bar that I believe did since closed down. So they closed down for a long time. The Polish community was looking for another place to host events, and they found them. Now, 2 years in a row, not just hosting these events here at the offline event, but also running online bi-weekly tournaments as well to continue to support the Polish scene.
Yeah,
Hello?
that's the I believe the previous house LAN was actually the opening of the place of the venue, or maybe at least like soon after the opening. And yeah, I mean, Dansky has been organizing these events for many years now, and I'm sure that he will continue to do so as long as he can find, you know, the sponsors, the players, and so on.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's great to see that that this venue and this place is able to fund, sponsor, and clearly does, you know, value what StarCraft brings to them. I'm sure they do enjoy the turnout. From my understanding, I believe they don't just do StarCraft events there. I believe they've held events for League of Legends and other esports. So again, you know, it isn't just purely StarCraft, but they embrace other esports alongside it.
It's basically a gaming bar, like think something similar to the Tech TV gaming bar, where like they still like, you know, operate on day-to-day basis, and they have like various events like related to various games, as well as just being like a, you know, a PC bank essentially, which is something we know, like a gaming cafe where you can come, you know, rent a PC and just play some games.
Exactly. And we did see a couple of people drop by in the chat earlier saying like, oh, we're local and we didn't know this was a thing. Yeah, keep an eye out for it. Again, this is not the first time that this event has been held. And as Dansky did say, you know, maybe come back in May or June, sometime in the middle of this year. It's possible that another event will be held. So if you happen to be local, and if you happen to be native to the land of Poland, or at least nearby in a nearby country, and you're willing to travel, then consider it. You know, lands aren't the most common thing anymore, and these big events aren't that common anymore, right? We have IM Katowice once a year. We have maybe a couple of home story cups a year, maybe one or two a year. And I think that's kind of it in Europe. I guess we have oh my god, we have Epic LAN over in the UK, but yeah, there aren't that many big like StarCraft celebrations. So if whatever pops up, you know, maybe consider dropping by and embracing it and having some fun.
Yeah, and you know, this has definitely a very different vibe to say your IEM or your DreamHacks, your ESL Masters. Like, you know, this is more of like a smaller community, like more like a local community tournament. So most people like either know each other or like know of each other at the very least. Like they meet on the forums, on the streams. So it's definitely a very different kind of vibe. And if you want to see how it looks, like definitely consider checking it out.
Yeah, and the quality of games are amazing as well,
Yeah.
right? Like Spirit, he's top 3 European Terran, arguably top 2 Terran in Europe right now. You have Elazer, who's like top 4, top 5 European Zerg player, you know, alongside the likes of, you know, your Cyril, your Raynor, your Lambo. So yeah, some high quality gameplay there, and yeah, great to see some of these other kind of up and coming players like Geralt and Papi and Krystianer performing well in their own right. So really cool to see the turnouts, really cool to see the event. It is time to calm things down though, because we are reaching that 14-hour mark, and we're done. We made it. We lived.
It's time for
we
bed.
survived. Time for bed. Oh no. Time for bed for a couple of hours. And if you are unsatiated, if you want some more StarCraft action, as always, we're going to be live tomorrow. Every single day here on the CranKy Ducklings, we have something to cast. And tomorrow, I say tomorrow, in around how many hours time? In around 9 or so hours time, we're going to be live here on the CranKy Ducklings. And we're going to be covering Masters Coliseum 7, the playoffs. The finals is going to be in 12 hours time, but before the finals of Master Coliseum, we missed out on the lower bracket finals and the lower bracket semifinals. We missed out on today's games of Master Coliseum because we've been casting the House Galactic Battle for the past 14 hours. So
Yeah.
in the middle of our broadcast of this tournament, there was also a day of Master Coliseum, and we were unable to cast both events at the same time. And we wanted to commit here to the House Galactic Battle because this LAN event doesn't have other English coverage. You know, the Master Coliseum, they had like Wardy and Rotterdam and plenty of other coverage going on. So we missed out on covering that live, but we're going to be catching up tomorrow before the finals. We're going to be catching up with what we missed out on to, you know, be able to have some greater context and catch up on all those amazing games that I'm sure were held earlier today.
And because those games are being done from a clean feed, so we do have access to the games that have been played, and we will be able to just cover them straight before the finals. So, you know, you can have a nice intro to the finals happening tomorrow, and, you know, start with the semifinals.
There we go. So again, in around 8 or so hours, we're going to be live here on the channel. If you happen to have watched today's Master Coliseum matches live, then no spoilers in the chat because we're going to be going in blind. We're going to be experiencing it for the first time. And of course, anyone who did miss it live today is going to be able to catch up in tomorrow's broadcast as well. And again, we're going to be covering the finals of Master Coliseum live right after we catch up with everything that we missed out on today. Here we go. 9 hours of sleep. No, I'm gonna I have to sleep. I'm maybe gonna sleep for like 5 or 6 hours because then I have to wake up, I have to get some food, I have to shower, I have to prepare everything, and then get ready for the more casting, Poppy. Let's go. Non-stop StarCraft casting of the CranKy Ducklings. And also thank you so much, Kuro, for dropping by. Again, Kuro was handling the production, did manage to cast a little bit as well. Kuro is usually, you know, behind the scenes here at the CranKy Ducklings, but every now and then is willing to come out, especially for some Polish StarCraft.
Yeah, usually I'm more on the production side of things, more on the social media side of things, like, you know, all the technical things that don't involve directly talking to the mic or being in front of a camera, but every now and then I do lend my voice, especially for some Polish events, because as the Polish representative of CranKy Ducklings, I mean, I have to be here.
There you go. It's in the contract.
Yes.
It must be done.
And they would take my citizenship otherwise. I mean, what?
It's true. You'll be kicked out of the country. It just, you wouldn't be able to live. But with that, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much everyone for tuning in, for supporting the CranKy Ducklings. Do appreciate the raids that we got earlier. Do appreciate the gifted subs and the overall subscriptions we got earlier as well. Thank you so much for the support. Again, all the money that we make here goes towards the tournaments we run. Our tournaments on hiatus for January, but after I Am Katowice, they should be coming back in full force. So keep an eye out for our tournaments. And again, exclamation mark Patreon if you do want to lend your hand and lend some support. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in 8 or so hours for some more StarCraft action. See you then. Before that, though, Kuro, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the night?
Shout out to Danskik, shout out to Kashim, shout out to everyone who was part of the organizing and was part of the audience of the event. And see you at I Am Katowice, because I know they will be there.
See you at I Am Katowice. Until then, hasta luego. Bye.
Bye.